Who's actually going to get real value out of a high-speed DTF printer like the Procolored F13 Pro? If you're a small boutique that only does a few dozen tees a month, does the extra speed even matter? And for the larger shops that already have a production line, is the price tag justified compared to the more common heat press setups? Those are the questions that keep most buyers up at night, because the risk of overinvesting in a machine you'll barely use is real. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you start digging into DTF, direct-to-film, technology, the first thing that pops up is the promise of industrial-level speed without having to buy a full-scale screen printing press. The Procolored F13 Pro sells itself on a dual-head XP600 printhead that claims to be twice as fast as the single-head models you see in entry-level shops. In practice, that speed translates into about double the number of shirts you can finish in an 8-hour shift if your workflow is set up to keep the printer fed. For a business that fulfills corporate orders, sports team kits, or rapid turnaround merch for events, that extra throughput can be the difference between a profitable day and a lost opportunity. But speed alone isn't the whole story. The printer's 12-channel color configuration is marketed as maximum color saturation, meaning you get richer, more accurate shades straight off the film. In a real-world setting, that matters when you're reproducing brand logos or artwork that has subtle gradients. A client who expects the exact Pantone match for a logo will notice the difference compared to a cheaper, 3-channel DTF unit that can look washed out. The Procolored F13 Pro also comes with a Gen 2 siphon system that the manufacturer says can run for roughly 50,000 inches of film before needing service. For a shop that prints thousands of shirts a week, that durability reduces downtime and keeps the production line humming. Now, let's talk about the kind of buyer who should actually consider pulling the trigger on this machine. First, you need a volume that justifies the upfront cost. If you're already hitting 200 to 300 prints per day and you're hitting a bottleneck at the print stage, the dual-head design will let you push that number to 400 to 600 without hiring another operator. Second, you should have a stable workflow for film handling, powder application, and curing. The F13 Pro assumes you have an automated or semi-automated powder shaker and a reliable heat press that can keep up with the output. If you're still manually sprinkling powder and waiting for it to settle, the speed advantage quickly evaporates, and you'll end up with a half-finished line that piles up. On the flip side, if you're a hobbyist, a startup that's just testing the market, or a designer who prints on-demand dropshipping items, the F13 Pro is probably overkill. A single-head DTF printer, or even a direct-to-garment (DG) printer, can handle lower volumes with a much lower cash outlay. Those smaller setups also tend to be more forgiving when it comes to space. This Pro model needs a dedicated area for the printer itself, the film roll storage, and the powder station, not to mention proper ventilation for the solvent-based inks. If your shop is in a cramped garage, squeezing in all that equipment can become a safety and logistical nightmare. Practical strengths worth highlighting first. The dual XP600 heads deliver consistent ink droplet placement at high speed, which means fewer missed prints and less waste. In the field, operators have reported that the machine can maintain its print quality even after running for several hours straight, which is crucial when you're on a tight deadline. The 12-channel ink system also gives you the flexibility to create custom spot colors without having to blend on the fly, saving time when you're dealing with brand-specific palettes. Another hidden advantage is the software integration. Procolored bundles its own RIP software that's pre-configured for the machine, so you don't have to spend weeks tweaking settings to get the first decent print. The software also logs ink usage and alerts you when a cartridge is running low, which helps you avoid a mid-run surprise. The weaknesses are more about the ecosystem than the printer itself. The machine relies on high-quality, proprietary inks that are a bit pricier than generic alternatives. If you're watching your material costs closely, the ink expense can add up quickly, especially at the volumes this printer is built for. Also, while the advertised 50,000-inch run life for the printhead is impressive, it assumes you're using the recommended cleaning cycle and that your ink viscosity stays within spec. In a busy shop, skipping routine maintenance to keep up with orders can lead to clogs that take more than a quick purge to fix. The learning curve for the powder handling station is another practical pain point. You'll need to train staff to evenly coat the film without overpowdering, because excess powder can cause smearing during the heat press step. Another consideration is the initial setup cost beyond the printer. You'll need a reliable heat press that can handle the volume, something in the 200-250 C range that can